I'm going to show you how to make gathers on your sewing machine, which is one of your samples. This is an example of gathers in a dress. Down here where it's ruffly, that's gathering. And then up here by the sleeves, that's gathering too. So that's what we're doing. You're going to be using 2 of the pattern pieces, the 2 that look like rectangles. Try to make sure when you cut them out that you cut out the notches. If you didn't, it's not the end of the world, but they will be helpful. And first, I'm going to use the longer piece. Okay, you need to lengthen your stitch length. Now, on this machine, it is right here, and I'm going to lengthen it all the way. On the Brother machines, it's on the maroon dial, and you're going to move it to 4. Lots of machines are different there. And I'm going to sew 2 lines of stitching down the notched side. The first one I'm going to do at 1/2 inch. So the way I like to do that is line the edge of my fabric up with 5/8, but move my needle once to the left, and that's going to get it a little bit less than 5/8. You want to leave a long tail, and you do not want to backstitch. So you'll notice that these stitches are longer. And don't backstitch, leave a tail. Your second line of stitching is going to be at 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to line the edge of my fabric up with the edge of my presser foot. Leave a tail, don't backstitch. Okay. Then you're going to take your, well, you don't really have to have your little piece yet. You're going to take your long piece and you're going to pull up the bobbin threads. So those are the ones on the back. So I'm going to try to get my bobbin threads away from my top threads and pull the fabric. And what you're doing is making it smaller, and you want it to be the same size as the other piece. So I'm going to go from both directions. This part can be kind of time consuming. The first gathers that I did were really bunchy and uneven. So the longer you can mess with it to make it perfect, the better. Okay, so when I get it started, what I'm going to do is see how close I am. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but this piece is still longer. So I've got to keep gathering up. But it's getting close. Check it out now. And that's another reason those notches are good, because you can see, right, now I've gathered up too much, but that's okay, I can work with it. So I'm gonna start pinning at my notches, right side to right side. Do the ends. And then the more pins you can put in this, the better, because that's going to keep it the way you've got it gathered up. Okay, that's not perfect, but you get the drift. And so you don't have to sit here and watch me. I'm just going to go on to the next step. Okay, now I'm going to sew a 5/8 inch seam, but this one does not need to be a long machine stitch. So on my Bernina, if I want to reset the machine, I just turn it off, turn it back on. On the Brother machine, you will turn the dial back to between 2 and 3. I like to push needle down. And I'm going to line up at 5/8. On this one, you will backstitch. And so if this was like a sleeve of a shirt or the bottom of a dress, you can see how the gathering would work. Now let me show you one thing. You can see a little bit of my base seam gathering stitches. If you can see those, take a seam ripper and pick those out. Last thing I'm gonna show you how to iron this. You want to like pull it out so that it's not, like you wouldn't want to put your iron just directly down because then it's gonna bunch up. You want to pull it out and you want to iron on the flat piece, so the top piece, and you're ironing your seam allowance toward the flat piece. So let's see. If you put your iron down on your gathers, it'll flatten them and they won't look good. Okay, so you'll cut your loose threads. You will staple it top 2 corners so I can lift it up, but that is how you do a gathers.